Champaign County has had its first confirmed case of coronavirus known as COVID-19. The resident is a female in her 50s and is home in isolation and recovering. Public health officials are identifying and contacting all close contacts. I already know because I saw the form. It's basically what we tell everyone. It was a fever, cough, and shortness of breath. And that's the ones that we're sending for testing. We're seeing a lot of that. Like I said, we have over 50 that are pending right now, and it all has to do with when the state gets them through the lab, and they're working constantly. So we expect to receive more results, positive or negative, throughout the rest of the next week. And meanwhile, we continue to get cases that we forward on, potential cases that we forward on. It needs to be at least 3 feet from well people and 6 feet from ill people. Use a face mask at home or in public for sick persons, not for everyone else. If you're sick and you have to go into public, like for the doctor or something, wear a mask. Postpone or cancel your attendance at large events. We were anticipating this case and others, and I do want everyone to know that we are expecting more next week because we have currently over 50 cases that have been submitted and are pending test results.
So can you tell us more about the patient, how she contracted this? Was this a community spread? Did she have any of the, how did she come in contact with this?
This is not a person that has a travel link. They did not travel to an affected country. This is someone, however, who did have contact with people who did travel. So.
To what country?
I believe it was Italy. Yeah, Italy.
How did you find out? Where was she tested? And can you tell us anything about what ran up, the details?
So she presented to Carl's emergency department earlier this week and was found to be suspicious based on her travel history and her symptoms. So working with our infection prevention colleagues, we contacted public health. They said, yes, this patient needs to be tested. So it was sent off to the state lab, and we got the results back late last night. The patient was not admitted. She went home from the emergency department, and we told her she should isolate herself until we find out the results.
So we're wondering too about the how far do you, when you trace her contacts, will you be testing her primary contacts and then people who had contact with those people? How does that work?
Okay, so what happens with the contact tracing, the investigators go out, they talk to everyone. Basically, they go back 14 days from the onset of symptoms and find where she has been, who she had contact with, and who the CDC guidance is that she needs to be in contact with somebody for within 6 feet for at least 10 minutes. So we go through all of that. The investigators call, they do a lot of questioning, and then they start tracing back from there. And if the people have symptoms, then we also tell them to quarantine themselves and daily check themselves for symptoms. And then if they have symptoms, we will give them information on where to go back to their primary care and get tested at that time. I will say that the patient is in isolation until 2 test results come back negative. So just because someone has extended, met their 14 days of average, sickness, 2 weeks or whatever, or they're feeling better, we still require 2 negative tests before they're released from isolation.
We track back who has treated the patient, who was involved with her care, was she in a how long was she in a waiting room, for instance? How long was she in a room? Who tested her? We've already contacted all the people that were involved in her care, and the appropriate measures are being taken.
Did she have contact with a primary care provider or anything before she came to the emergency room, or was it just that she walked into the emergency room with symptoms?
She was in contact with her primary care office, I believe 48 hours prior to her coming to the emergency department, and yes.
I do need to say something about the so much focus on this case. I don't want people to think that we are going to stop the COVID-19 because we found one case, but we know we have more. So it's not good.
Did this person come to a Carl provider office, or did she call? And was she advised to just stay home for now until unless things got worse, or like would she have walked into one of your clinics?
I don't know those details.
But, we meet them, we meet patients at the doorstep of the clinic. And if
Okay.
they have any symptoms, like like fever, cough, we give them a mask, and we alert the provider we put them in a room, and we take all precautions if they walk into the clinic. But we always tell them to call before.
So what kind of symptoms did she have when she came to the hospital? Was it the usual with this?
Should I go into details about it?
Well,
It's very general.
I can say that I already know because I saw the form. It should basically what we tell everyone. It was a fever, cough, and shortness of breath. And that's the ones that we're sending for testing. We're seeing a lot of that.
And Julie,
And there's a lot of reasons why you may have a fever, a cough, and shortness of breath that are not COVID, but
Okay.
so you mentioned that there's other pending cases and you're waiting to get the test confirmed. When will you get that confirmed to know if there are any other cases besides this one now?
yeah. Okay, we have, like I said, we have over 50 that are pending right now, and it all has to do with when the state gets them through the lab, and they're working constantly. So we expect to receive more results, positive or negative, throughout the rest of the next week. And meanwhile, we continue to get cases that we forward on, potential cases that we forward on.
Are you guys saying what part of Champaign County this one person is from, which city she lives in?
No, no, we just try to keep we keep it general. We will always be reporting cases as we get them. We'll probably have something on our website, and every day that we get them, we'll update it. But we're going to say Champaign County. That's how it is right now, unless there would be some other need.